Change. I want to talk about change. And the reason I want to talk about change, even though I did not that long ago, is because I was doing morning meditation time, journaling time, and I was doing it about honesty because I feel like I needed to get to a higher level of honesty. And one of the things about getting honest is just understanding that change is perpetual and that if you want to keep getting more honest, you have to keep changing. So I was thinking about change and how hard it is. And I'm like at this point where I think, why am I still so fearful of change? And when I get to a place where I am kind of stagnant, I try to look back and see other examples of my life where I have been successful or victorious in that area. And change kind of sucks because change is something that only I can do for myself. And I might say, but if you would change, this would change. And if they would do something different, this would be different. And all of that may or may not be true, but I am the only one I have any power over. And while that seems like a really negative thing, that is the most positive thing. If I could just keep that in the forefront of my mind, that I have that power. So I have the power to change. And when I change, maybe other people change, maybe they don't. But then I am at least true to my core values. A lot of times I look back on my life and I was living on other people's core beliefs. I really didn't understand about core beliefs until just a few years ago. And the idea is that I'm believing something at my core that somebody else taught me when I was young and impressionable. And so maybe later on in my life, I have to look at that core value. And I'm going to give an example because one of the biggest changes I ever made was leaving an unhealthy marriage. It was physical abuse, emotional abuse. Believe me, I was 50% of the problem. But I was in a horrible, horrible marriage, and I had this core belief that you stay married no matter what. And I am all about marriage. I've been married now for 29 years. I believe in doing the work that it takes to have a good marriage. But I do not believe that when two people are unhealthy and they're together and they're crushing each other's spirit, that is what God intended for marriage. And it can be God, my spiritual foundation is God. Maybe it always wasn't. Whatever your spiritual foundation is, that's where my core beliefs stem from today. My core values. And so I believe today that God did not want me there. And I felt that in my gut, but I was operating off of other people's beliefs. So the biggest change I ever made was to battle those core beliefs that were given to me by other people, knowing my circumstances and the heartache and the disaster and the physical fearful conditions of my home for my children, and saying, I am changing. I am getting out of this situation. I am doing something different. I had nothing. I had fear. I had people when they get in situations where the life and death decisions need to be made, they don't have a crowd of friends and family waiting to help them. Most of us don't. And so I didn't have a support system. I had burned up all my bridges and I had pushed out all my friends, and addiction and ugliness had pretty much isolated me from everything. So I operated on fear of, what is my future going to look like? What are my kids going to look like in the future if I don't take this leap of faith? And so the biggest change that I ever made and came out on the other side of was this change to save my life. Okay, so today the changes I have to make are not life and death, but they call for the same kind of courage. At my core, I am not courageous. I am fearful. I worry about what other people think. I worry about what if this doesn't work. I worry about what if my life changes and I don't like the change. And yet I know in my heart that I have to trust that same instinct, that if I am called forward to do something different, if I feel I need another job, if I feel I need to start a program to educate myself in this area, if I feel I need to work on this relationship and give it a hunk of time, then I need to trust that instinct and make the change to go forward. Change isn't easy. Change is hard at whatever level you're at, but I'm the only one that can do it. And again, while that is negative, it is also positive. I am the one that can do it. So, do I want change in my life? Do I want something different tomorrow than I had yesterday? Do I want my past to look like my future? No, I don't. I have all kinds of dreams and goals and ambitions, but nothing is going to come in to my life and make that all happen in spite of myself. It has to happen through me. And so today, I just want to challenge everybody to look at their life. And if you don't want change, that is totally acceptable. It is your life, and you can do with it what you want. It may not benefit the people around you, but that is still your choice. But if you want change, if you want to move off of this ground zero that you're on right now, that is your choice as well, with every decision that you make from here out. So, thanks for listening. Keep listening, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Cathy McLeish.